to every other Sunday in different majority Latino neighborhoods in Santa Rosa. So you can bring food, you can bring Valentine's, you can bring candy. So this is our concluding week of the question of what is Zen and how do we live it. I'm sure we all figured it out. Sherry gave a really lovely talk on Tuesday that I would point you towards about saving all beings. And I thought to conclude today, well, actually, before I do that, let me just say what we're going to do next to remind you, because I've been studying and getting into it, is we're going to do Vasubandhu's Yogacara, Ben Connolly's book, and Thich Nhat Hanh's Understanding Our Mind, and a third book, which hasn't arrived in the mail yet, but I'll tell you about that when it comes. That one of the reasons that I think doing Yogacara will be interesting is that Vasubandhu, who was an early master, brought it forward as a bridge between early Buddhism and Mahayana, because as we human beings do, you can take anything and create conflict. And so, each side thought they were better. Gee, anything sound familiar? And they were judging each other, so Vasubandhu came up with Yogacara as a way to incorporate and bring harmony to the two different quotes sides. So it seems timely. I'm enjoying studying it. So, but what we're going to do today is I love, and we've done it before, and there are different copies around the room. You don't need it quite yet. Dogen's The Bodhisattva's Four Methods of Guidance. Giving, kind speech, beneficial action, and identity action. So we could spend a lot of time studying this fascicle, and we have in the past, and maybe we will again in the future. But because we've spent a little time on all the One Bright Pearl and Genjo Koan, and now this, three of Dogen's fascicles, it feels like a way we can just kind of like give ourselves to it, immerse ourselves in it, not have to engage with studying each word or each phrase at this point, which is a lovely thing to do, but just to trust that if you jump into the water, you get wet. And so I think there is this beautiful practice of chanting that we began with the Avatamsaka Sutra. So I went through the fascicle and tried to cut it down so that we're not here chanting, till midnight or whatever. And I have to confess, I cut a few things out, but mostly when I looked at it, I just love it. I love the language of it, and I didn't want to take any of it out. So I'm going to say a few words about it to help us enter, and then we'll chant it together, and then you will get in small groups and see what arose for you. And so here's the entry to it. This was first written for lay people. So some of Dogen's writings were written for monastics. This was particularly written for us, for lay people across time and space. The source is in the Prajnaparamita. That's what it arose out of. Yeah, you guys should have one to share back there. Yeah. Because yeah. But it also was first mentioned in the Avatamsaka Sutra. So there you go. This is, it's interesting. All the things that just kind of, the Avatamsaka Sutra is the flower garland of everything. It brought us this too. It's about bodhisattvas, not surprisingly, and bodhisattvas concerned for all of life, all inclusive. Question of how do we help ourselves and others live without suffering? That's what they keep saying Ben Connolly keeps saying in his commentary on the Yogacara, is the root, the focus of Buddhism all the way through is how do we live without suffering? How do we wake up in the midst of suffering? How do we live in harmony with ourselves and with others and with everything, i.e., how do we live without conflict? So again, what a unfortunately great time to be alive in, because the question won't go away right now, right? Dogen says, how we do it is through the practice of giving, the practice of kind speech, the practice of beneficial action, and of identity action. And we'll go into this a little bit more deeply. I always, I think I got it from Bhikkhu Bodhi, who is a Theravada monk who joined the Peace Walker monks in the National Cathedral, and in talks yesterday, and gave it's great. He gave a really kind of fiery talk about peace, but in a way that was his, anyway. I appreciate Bhikkhu Bodhi, but he said, the Buddha said, is that generosity is the root of this practice, is that the Buddha didn't even want to give any further teachings to anybody until they had cultivated some generosity of heart. That's the ground. Because of course, we're going to take whatever we get, and without a generous, open heart, we're going to turn it into something. And I mean, we're going to do that anyway, but generosity is a really, that's the ground of all this. So one might say generosity is the antidote to suffering. Generosity towards self, each other, the world, everything. Okay, so the practice is letting go of attachment to the self. We think we're a self. We think there's self and other. And the more that we can do that, the more we drop body and mind and just let go, the more, lo and behold, we find out that we are in the center of everything, and everything is in the center of everything and flowing in and out of everything. And there's a transformation at the base of, instead of being identified with our karmic activities, we more and more naturally, we cultivate, and what naturally arises is giving and kind speech and beneficial action, wanting to be of benefit to ourselves and the whole world, and identity action, and the profound understanding of we're not separate. You look like you're over there, and you are over there, and we are flowing in and out of each other, which then it's like, huh? Makes you really stop and ask what's really going on here. Over and over. Okay. To simply release ourselves to this abundant flow, to not stop ourselves up in personal limitation, in fear, and in habit. Bodhisattvas. A bodhisattva vow is just to be here, right in the midst of all of it. We don't want to go anyplace. We don't want to get out of it. We don't want to get lost in it. It's just present, this moment, entrusting ourselves to the true nature of everything, which is love, and manifests as before. Methods of guidance. First one, giving is in its broadest sense the generous ongoingness of being and time. Another way to say it is no giver, no receiver, no gift. Who do you think is giving something, and what is it that you think that you're giving, and who do you think you're giving it to? And of course, we're doing all of those things, but we also, the sunlight is just giving itself freely, generously to the whole world, and I'm really grateful to be sitting here in the warmth of it. Here's a couple of things I found: that no thing in the whole universe ever falls short of its own completeness. No thing in the whole universe ever falls short of its own completeness. And part of what flows out of that is that every single thing in the universe has inherent rights that comes with life itself. It's all inclusive. There's a place for everything and everyone. So in the fullest sense, giving is the practice of living fully and generously, not holding back our lives. Three things that are traditionally given, the material goods. Giving a gift is a really, come to the barrio walk and give the gift of a tangerine or the gift of your presence, or the teachings, embodying the teachings. And the third one is fearlessness. To give someone and to ourselves a respect so profound that it awakens our spirit and gives us a deep confidence in our own deep human nature. Don't turn away, show up. Fearless practice of just showing up. Kind speech, you'll see, we're going to read it in a minute. Dogen says, means that when you see sentient beings, you arouse the heart of compassion and offer words of loving care. It is contrary to cruel or violent speech. Yes, I will. That includes thoughts. Just... Sorry. And in fact, it's so important that Dogen says this has the power to turn the destiny of a nation. This is our job. This is our vow. Beneficial action. Dogen says we must benefit all classes of sentient beings. All classes: air, soil, water, rocks, immigrants. The ones we like, the ones we don't like, the ones that we think are high or low or past or present or future. This is a big vow. This is, again, Sherry did a great job of talking about saving all beings. So what is this in living of it? To care about their distant and near future and to help them by using skillful means. This moment includes past, present, and future. You can heal the past in this moment. You can heal the future in this moment, because there's in the absolute realm, it's absolutely, there's no separation. You want to worry about the future? Be here, practice. You want to heal the past? Be here, present. Touches everything and everyone. Identity action, excuse me, beneficial action. No, did I say yes? That was yes. Identity action. The non-difference from self and others, that self and others are one. Here's Thich Nhat Hanh says, to practice doing the same thing, that a bodhisattva has the ability to take on the appropriate form in order to be able to approach others and to help them. It's like, what's the appropriate response in this moment? What we might say, what form did you take on in this lifetime? I mean, you dropped into a particular body in a karma, right? And whatever is coming through us is exactly the appropriate form to help heal the whole world. And we wake up in the midst of it. And in each moment, what's the appropriate response that will most bring healing and love to the situation? And it's perfect. The direct recognition that this here and now is the world and includes everything and the three times. Every action we take has profound moral consequences. Every action of body, speech, and mind ripples across time and space. That'll get us to pay attention, right? So we practice bringing forth a great heart of compassion, which has the deepest concern for the happiness and well-being of all things. That's the practice. And you fall down and you get up. And you fall down and you get up a little more tender and a little more humbled and a little more open. And then you fall down again and then you get up again. And then you fall down by the ground and you get up by the ground and you get up by the sky. It brings forth a great courage. Oh, this is what we're doing, just right here, just right now. And as we practice bringing this forth in ourselves, it brings it forth in the whole world. As we do it, when one is a beautiful image about when one plum blossom opens, all the plum blossoms spring forth. There's a simultaneity too. It matters that each choice we make matters and ripples across time and space. So, having said that, let's just chant. We're going to put it on screen for you guys. I'm going to suggest as we're chanting, if there are things that particularly come forward for you, maybe as something that touches you deeply or opens you or you're curious about, maybe something that you have some question about, because we'll have a chance later to come together in groups and just be turned by this. So as much as you can, just give yourself to the chanting, give yourself to the words, give yourself to non-separation. Let yourself be bathed in these words that Dogen brought forth for us. Bodhisattva's 4 methods of guidance. The Bodhisattva's 4 methods of guidance are giving, kind speech, beneficial action, and identity action. Giving means non-greed. Non-greed means not to covet. Not to covet means not to curry favor. Even if you govern the 4 continents, you should always convey the authentic path with non-greed. It is like giving away unneeded belongings to someone you don't know, offering flowers blooming on a distant mountain to the Tathagata, or again offering treasures you had in your former life to sentient beings. Whether it is of teaching or of material, each gift has its value and is worth giving. Even if the gift is not your own, there is no reason to abstain from giving. The question is not whether the gift is valuable, but whether there is genuine merit. The Buddha said, when a person who practices giving goes to an assembly, people take notice. Know that the mind of such a person communicates subtly with others. This being so, give even a phrase or verse of the truth. It will be a wholesome seed for this and other lifetimes. Give your valuables, even a penny or a blade of grass. It will be a wholesome root to this and other lifetimes. The truth can turn into valuables. Valuables can turn into the truth. This is all because the giver is willing. A king, Emperor Tai of the Tang dynasty, gave his beard as medicine to cure his retainer's disease. A child offered sand to Buddha and became King Ashoka in a later birth. They were not greedy for reward, but only shared what they could. To launch a boat or build a bridge is an act of giving. If you study closely, you see that to accept a body and to give up the body are both giving. Making a living and producing things can be nothing other than giving. To live flowers to the wind, to leave birds to the season, are also acts of giving. Not only should you make an effort to give, but also be mindful of every opportunity to give. You are born into this present life because you originally embodied the merit of giving in the past. The Buddha said, if you are to practice giving to yourself, how much more so to your parents, wife, and children. Thus know that to give to yourself is a part of giving. To give to your family is also giving. Even when you give a particle of dust, you should rejoice in your own act, because you authentically transmit the merit of all Buddhas and begin to practice of a Bodhisattva. The mind of a sentient being is difficult to change. Keep on changing the minds of Bodhisattva beings from the moment that you offer one valuable to the moment that they attain the way. This should be initiated by giving. Thus, giving is the first of the 6 paramitas, realizations. Mind is beyond measure. Things given are beyond measure. And yet in giving, mind transforms the gift, and the gift transforms mind. Kind speech means that when you see sentient beings, you arouse the heart of compassion and offer gifts of loving care. It is contrary to cruel or violent speech. In the secular world, there is the custom of asking after someone's health. In the Buddha way, there is the phrase, please treasure yourself, and the respectful address to seniors, may I ask how you are? It is kind speech to speak to sentient beings as you would to a baby. Praise those with virtue, pity those without it. If kind speech is offered, little by little speech expands. Thus even kind speech that is not ordinarily known, seen, comes into being. Be willing to practice it for this entire present life. Do not give up world after world, life after life. Kind speech is the basis for reconciling rulers and subduing enemies. Those who hear kind speech from you have a delighted expression and a joyful mind. Those who hear of your kind speech will be deeply touched. They will always remember it. Know that kind speech arises from kind heart, and kind heart from the seed of compassionate heart. Ponder the fact that kind speech is not just praising the merit of others, it has the power to turn the destiny of a nation. Beneficial action is skillfully to benefit all classes of sentient beings. That is to care about their distant and near future, and to help them by using skillful means. In ancient times, someone helped a caged tortoise. Another took care of a sick sparrow. They did not expect a reward. They were moved to do so only for the sake of beneficial action. Foolish people think that if they help others first, their own benefit will be lost, but this is not so. Beneficial action is an act of oneness, benefiting self and others together, benefit self and others alike. If you have this heart, even beneficial action for the sake of grass, trees, wind, and water is spontaneous and unremitting. This being so, make a wholehearted effort to help the ignorant. Identity action means non-difference. It is non-difference from self, non-difference from others. For example, in the home world, the Tathagata took the form of a human being. From this, we know that he did the same in other realms. When we know identity actions, self and other are one. Lute, song, and wine are one with human beings, devas, and spirit beings. Human beings are one with lute, song, and wine. Lute, song, and wine are one with lute, song, and wine. Human beings are one with human beings. Devas are one with devas. Spirit beings are one with spirit beings. To understand this is to understand identity action. Action means right form, dignity, correct manner. This means that you cause yourself to be in identity with others after causing others to be in identity with you. However, the relationship of self and others varies limitlessly according to circumstances. Dogen says, the ocean does not exclude water, that is why it is large. The mountain does not exclude soil, that is why it is high. A wise lord does not exclude people, that is why he has many subjects. That the ocean does not exclude water is identity action. Water does not exclude the ocean either. This being so, water comes together to form what? Soil piles up to form mountains. My understanding is that the ocean does not exclude the ocean. It is the ocean and it is large, because mountains do not exclude mountains. They are mountains and they are high. Because the wise Lord does not weary of people, his people assemble. People means the nation. A wise lord means ruler of the nation. A ruler is not supposed to weary of people. Not to weary of people does not mind to give no reward or punishment. Although a ruler gives reward and punishment, he does not weary of people. In ancient times, when people were less complicated, there was neither legal reward nor punishment in the country. The concept of reward and punishment was different. Even at present, there should be some people who seek the way without expecting a reward. This is beyond the understanding of ignorant people. Because a wise Lord understands this, he does not weary of people. People form a nation and seek a wise Lord, but as they do not completely know the reason why a wise Lord is wise, they only hope to be supported by the wise Lord. They do not notice that they are the ones who support the wise Lord. And this principle of identity action is applied to both the wise Lord and all people. This being so, identity action is a vow of Bodhisattvas. With a gentle expression, practice identity action for all people. Each of these four methods of guidance includes all four. Thus, there are 16 methods of guiding sentient beings. Written on the fifth day, the fifth month, the fourth year of the Nija era, 1243, by monk Dogen, who transmitted Dharma from China. I'll just share something that was arising for me, and then we'll go into groups and how much the four each includes each other, and I was remembering because it arises for me that Jennifer would do hospice work, and when my sister-in-law was dying, I called her up and I needed some kind of advice or referral, and it was like on a Saturday or a Sunday. It was just, and I called her up and she immediately responded and gave me really simply just exactly what I needed. It's like these small little things just drop in and ripple across time and space. And it was Jennifer, but it wasn't Jennifer. And it was my sister-in-law, but it wasn't my sister-in-law. I mean, it was the whole world and just reaching out and saying, help, and a responsiveness. So let's go into small groups. Maybe you have a story like that where maybe that you were acted upon, or you acted upon someone else. I mean, the mutuality of it is whatever story or experience arises out of it. Okay. Let's encourage each other, share our stories.
How many do you want?
And you'll